So, what do you do? That's a question that we get asked a lot. Do you have an answer you love for that question? I didn't. Years ago, I was living in New York City, and a friend of mine told me about a conference in San Diego that I had to be at. She said, the speakers will be amazing, the attendees will be incredible. Well, that was enough for me. I bought a ticket and I booked my flight. And she was right. The first speaker was amazing. And after the first speaker, they said, why don't you turn around and meet the person behind you? So I did. And he said, so what's your name? What do you do? And that morning, I had a very long, boring, rambling, drawn-out introduction. After covering every city I ever lived in and my favorite flavors of ice cream, finally, to stop myself, I said, well, what's your name? What do you do? And very coolly and calmly and confidently, he said, well, my name's Matt, and I run a little software company. I said, that's cool. I'm into software. I'm into startups. What's it called? Maybe I've heard of it. And he said, it's called Automatic. Now, for those of you who don't know, Automatic is the parent company of open source software that powers over a quarter of the internet. I was talking to Matt Mullenweg, the creator of WordPress. And in that exact moment, the event photographer snapped this picture. This is what it looks like when you meet your hero and completely embarrass yourself. And ever since this exact moment, I've been obsessed with how we introduce ourselves, how we show up in the world, and how we tell the stories of the work that we do. I've been obsessed with finding and crafting the perfect intro because I really blew it that day. And over the years, I've developed a simple but powerful formula that I'm here to share with you today. But it's about more than just better introductions. It's about better conversations. Because the goal of any conversation is to make a real human connection. Before you can get the phone number, before you can close the sale, before you can make a friend or meet your soulmate, there has to be real human connection. And we don't do this very well. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, is how we design our introductions and our conversations for real human connection. But why do we care? Why do introductions matter? Well, they happen a lot. One study says we meet 3 new people per day on average. That's 1,000 people per year and 50,000 in your adult lifetime. 50,000 chances to meet someone who could change everything. Now, think about the things that we do every day. We wake up, we shower, we get dressed, we make coffee, and we introduce ourselves. And most of those things we do pretty well. We don't fall down in the shower, we never put our pants on backwards, but we blow our introductions every day. In fact, I think that poorly explaining what we do is our most frequent mistake. Why do we get introductions so wrong? Well, it's pretty simple. Number one, we never get taught. Here in the United States, to drive a car, you have to pass a test, and then they give you this little plastic card. Well, there's no driver's test for introductions, which is why we crash them every day. Number two, we get taught poorly. If we do get taught at all, we get taught this horrible, outdated thing called the elevator pitch. I want to recruit all of you to help me kill the elevator pitch. It doesn't actually happen. It's a made-up construct, a myth. And the reality is, nobody wants to be pitched, especially in a small metal box. And lastly, we believe in the 3 myths of introductions. Myth number 1 is that your introduction is about you. No, it's actually about who you help and why. Myth number 2 is that your intro should be 100% complete. No, it should be interesting. And myth number 3 is that your intro should be 100% accurate. No, it should be confident. You see, a perfect intro helps you design better conversations that lead to real human connection. So let's craft your perfect intro. We're going to start with a very simple base formula, and then we're going to have a lot more fun from there. So this is the base formula. I, since you're the one introducing yourself. Now, I know I said it's not about you, so we're going to move the focus off of you with one simple word, and that's the word help, or some form of the word help. The next word is people. So I help people, 3 words. Hopefully you're still with me. I'm going to need your help on this last bit. Achieve a result. What is it that you help people do or achieve or become? So let's look at a couple examples using the base formula. Liz Gilbert could say, I help people unlock their genius. Chris Anderson could say, I help people tell stories worth spreading. Okay, a few quick rules. Number 1, no buzzwords. Pretend you're talking to a 6-year-old, because as Einstein taught us, if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Number 2, keep it short. Use shorter words with fewer syllables. And number 3, shoot for intrigue over information. This is a conversation, not a resume. The goal is to get them curious, to get them interested in what you do. Okay, now customize it. You all have many talents. So the good news is you get as many intros as you want. We're going to customize each word of this one by one so that you don't just leave with one intro, you leave with a tool set to create an infinite number of introductions for any room, any person, or any context. And we're going to start by changing people to who it is that you help. Susan Cain could say, I help introverts unlock their power. Or Simon Sinek could say, I help leaders find their why. Now, here's a little bonus trick. You know when you're going to be in a situation or a conversation where someone might say, so what do you do? So a little trick is ask them first, because their introduction will give you the words you need to customize your introduction. Okay, now we're going to change help to a different verb. What's the verb that people think of when they think of you or your business? You might say, I connect, I show, I give, I paint, I unlock. Chip Kidd could say, I design first impressions. Or David Blaine could say, I prove magic is real. Maybe you want to introduce your company. Very simple, just change I to we. Amy Cuddy could say, we teach people the power of their presence. Reverend Jeffrey Brown could say, we make crime disappear. Okay, a couple of alternate formulas. I'm like X for Y, or we're like X for Y, where X and Y are 2 things that they know, but they're typically not paired together in that exact way. Jill Bolte Taylor could say, I'm like a tour guide for your brain. Or Tim Urban could say, I'm a personal trainer for procrastination. One final formula, we turn X into Y, or I turn X into Y. Yo-Yo Ma could say, I turn music into motion. Sarah Kay could say, I turn words into wonder. And have some fun with it. One of my favorite authors, Neil Gaiman, could say, I make things up and I write them down. Or Apollo Robbins could say, I teach people how to steal attention. How short can you go? Seth Godin simply says, I notice things. And then everything else flows from that. He wakes up every day, he notices things, and he writes books, and he writes blogs, and he speaks. So why does this work? Well, the typical intro, it's about you. We try to make it 100% complete, and we try to make it 100% accurate. The perfect intro, it's about who you help, it's interesting, and it's confident. When you know what you're going to say, when you walk into that situation where someone might ask you, what do? You automatically come across much more confidently. And that can be even more important than the words. It's flexible. You all have many talents, and now you have many introductions for any room, any person, or any context. It gives you consistency in your personal brand. It helps you own a word or a phrase. But most importantly, it allows you to connect over story, both their story and the story of who it is that you help. Because after you say your perfect intro, they're going to say something like, what do you mean? Or how do you do that? And then you get to say 6 magic words. Let me tell you a story. But here's the thing. You don't tell your story. Tell the story of the transformation of the people that you help. And now, instead of reading a resume, you're doing what humans are designed to do, which is tell stories and build real human connection. Okay, we've been talking about the words a lot. I want you to forget the words, close your eyes, and think about what it is that you get to do every day. Think about the stories that you live. Think about the people that you help. Think about the magic that you make. If you can package up all that magic into just a few words, a perfect intro and a compelling story, who wouldn't want to connect with you? Thank you.